Hey guys, this is my main chart layout here. Let me take the market maker move stuff off here real quick. So basically some things that I'm looking at here. We have this right here is a fair value gap, which we have satisfied as of today. We're right up into the PAL disaster that broke us down. We're finally back testing that today. Okay, so be very mindful of that. Very, very, very critical back test area in these markets. So basically, all that inventory that consolidated before the FOMC meeting back in this back in December, we're right into that area where all that inventory got trapped. And so we know there's a major overhead supply right above us here in the markets. So be very mindful of that. We are doing a new weekly higher high, so be very mindful of that as well. Now, as far as our options go, okay, we have broke through one major wall of the options this morning. That was $6,100. There was a a big option open interest at this level, so I put us in positive gamma right out of the gate today. And then we do have finally another option wall that expires today, right here at the let me look here and see what the value is on that. 61.35. So we went right up to 61.35. That is another option wall for today that right now looks to be rejecting. Okay, that's today's expiration. But in the grander scheme of things, we do still have a big option wall at 61.50. So we are day after day. It seems like we're pushing to the uh, extremes of the daily option wall just to come into the next day and be resolving above that wall the very next day. And that's pretty much what I've been seeing here in the markets. If you go down on the 5 minute here, you can see what's going on here. See, we came right into that option wall. There's two of them today, two big option walls. We 11:20, 11:20 we broke convincingly above that option wall. So potentially setting up a mini head and shoulders right here. Potential mini head and shoulders for today's session. I don't think we'll get down too far here. 3 hours ago in the markets, anything can happen. This is a fair value gap, which we have satisfied, but there's still really thin inventory at this price point. So be mindful of that. If you put your volume profile on the chart real quick here, as you can see here, you see what's happening here. This is a mini head and shoulders for the daily. We came down, we tagged the prior day's high, okay, and that's all we could get. So that's pretty much what I got going on here. We have a potential head and shoulders setting up here at these highs, coming into this option expiration for today. That being said, we go over here to ESs, and we know tomorrow, this is Thursday, okay, and so we do have our biggest open interest. We put us back over to 61.40. Remember, 61.50 is the weekly open interest. So we know going into Friday, 61.50 is a big call wall, and they're just walking these up ever so closer to that 61.50 for the end of the week. So that's our next major call wall would be at 61.40 for tomorrow. That's pretty much what I'm seeing here in the markets. Okay, guys. Okay, heads up on that. Quick rundown here on the NQ expirations. We do have a big call wall uh, that we are 22,200 on the NQs here. That expires Friday. We're not into that either, so be very mindful of that. Into a double topping pattern, like I said, the FOMC plunge started at a higher point on the NQ, so we have not backfilled that FOMC plunge because we are coming off of a lower level. So that's something to keep in mind as well. That could be very well what they want to do for the week, end of the week. Break above the FOMC plunge on the S&Ps and to complete the the FOMC plunge for the Nasdaq. So very well could be the case. The big strike for today's expiration was 22,000, but because of Netflix in large part, plus the actions of Trump, we are currently in a positive gamma situation on the daily time frame. So heads up on that. We're currently in a positive gamma. Uh, all the positive gamma breakouts today seem to be holding, and so be very mindful of that. So we're probably not going to see much action under 22,000 today, barring some sort of major news event. So we have to be very mindful of that. If you go over to Thursday now, so even on a back test, you have to be very mindful that 22,000 is probably a hard support in today's session. So just be very mindful of that. Now, if you go on the NQs going into tomorrow's expiration, now remember the NQs don't generally get nearly as much volume as the S&Ps. Okay, uh, and I'm going to have to go out here on all on that one so we can see a little bit better. Sure. Go down here on the calls. Okay, as you can see right there, you got 66 at 22,150. Remember, 22,200 is the weekly target call wall. 22,150 for tomorrow is the highest open interest, and then we also have a bunch at 22,100. So 22,100, 22,150, and then ultimately Friday 22,200 are our main levels going into the end of the week here. So heads up on that. We're currently below, all those levels. 22,100, haven't even got to that yet. 22,150, all the way up to 2200. So heads up on that. And look at this also. A lot of times when we get into this range up here, a lot of we've had an instance where we've just moved that entire move all in one trading session, potential trading session. But the main point that I'm taking right here, we are in a positive gamma situation on today. So if anything, it's the general theme should be we could actually push to new day highs versus trying to do a back test. But the 22,000 is likely to be new support, at least going into the close today. Things happening in the Russell. Russell is a different beast, beast of a different color. It was bearish today. I can't remember if it was this chart or a different chart. Can't remember. But we were right into, let me try IWM. Yeah, there you go. IWM. So main takeaway that I had for Russell coming into today's session, we rejected a 50-day moving average. Okay, we rejected a 50-day moving average, and we were at a fair value gap high. So I had mentioned that this morning that if I was going to be bearish anything, I would be bearish the Russell, and that is playing out the way I thought it would have played out in today's session. Okay. So be mindful of that. Russell is playing out the way I thought it would. We go over here to the IWM options here. Like I said, it is going down. So we're currently at 228. Look at this right here. So basically, they're keeping 229. So far today, they're able to keep 230 out of keep us out of the positive gamma situation. So 230 is a major call wall for this for today's expiration, 430. Okay, guys. And then on the put side, then you're looking at 226. Okay, so 430, 226. Where would that put us at? 226 would put us back down here for this major back test, these prior high back test. Okay, that'd be the 226. Okay. And as you can see, that has actually put us in, the 226 has put us in a positive gamma. So in relation to 226, we're in a positive gamma, but 230 is our primary resistance for today. Now, if we go out in a bigger time frame, coming into tomorrow, come down here and we'll look real quick here. Okay. 223 is our main on the downside. And similar situation. 230 isn't 228. So, 228 guys, we're currently trading at 228.30. So our potential is a gamma squeeze for IWN tomorrow. So if I was looking at this setup right here, if we close over 228, close the session over 228, I would be seriously looking to the call side for a possible positive gamma squeeze to the upside tomorrow. So just be very mindful of that, a potential positive gamma squeeze. Basically today tech took us up, S&Ps took us up, and maybe they want to rotate right back into the Russell tomorrow to take us up even for the next move higher in the Russell. But so for me, this looks like a potential setup for the Russell to outperform tomorrow. Netflix is the beast of the day. We blew through our call wall. Our call wall is 950. Heads up on that, guys. And that looks like we're coming back down trying to backtest it. Personally, I think once we get 950, that is by the dip. So be very mindful of that. I think a lot of people are waiting to buy the dip on Netflix at 950. So coming into tomorrow, if we get 950 before the close, which looks like a decent chance that we might do that, I would be looking for potential swing longs from a technical perspective in the market. So be very mindful of that. Okay. Other one, the beast, the cash session was Microsoft. We saw early on we were in positive gamma before the market even opened this morning. So if you go down here on the 30 minute, let's see, go down here on the 30 minute, right here at 8:30, 8:30. So basically from 8 o'clock, from 8 o'clock on, we were above Friday's call wall. So this is Friday's call wall. This was very bullish. So basically, we were blowing up all of the call walls for the week coming into today's session here on Microsoft. And I did try a short on that right out of the gate, realizing if we were going to see a bigger backtest in the markets, that Microsoft was probably ahead of itself. I was up for a little bit, and I'd actually hit my targets, but I held on to too long. Right down here, I was actually trying to execute. It didn't fill, and I ended up stopping out a little bit at a loss on that one here, guys. So, and it just kept on taking off to the moon here. So Microsoft is the beast of the day. Okay, guys. Then other things we were looking at here was NVIDIA. And with all the talk out of Trump, all the stuff he's planning on doing with AI and the all the things that are going on there. So what got going on here for we have a call wall that expires Friday, and we were trading above that at 9 o'clock this morning. So, and then we've been holding above that initial call wall. We have two call walls. Okay, on that 148, there's another one. Okay, and we've been fighting between these two levels. Okay, and a fair value gap level as well. Not given near as clear a signal on the NVIDIA, other than the fact it is in a positive gamma situation. Okay, so it's not nearly. It was not nearly giving the momentum breakout scenario as what we saw with Microsoft. SMH, look at this with all the Trump talk and stuff. So we have three strikes below us here on the weekly here on SMH that we have broke out above today. Could not break down below it. This is new support. 265 is a major support now with all that gamma or all those strikes that are blowing up below us. That was another reason why I was looking at this. We had all this inventory below us that was underwater right out of the gate. And I was thinking the market makers, if they had any chance of saving their hides, they were going to be taking us back down inside of those strikes, at least temporarily this morning. They couldn't even do that. So I really don't want to fade this market too much, knowing that this is a big headwind, or that anybody who's been short, they've just got blown up today in the semis. And from here on forward, the rest of the week, it is highly unlikely that we break below 265 on SMH. Okay, guys, so be very mindful of that. Another one that I shorted this morning, Amazon, came right up. You had to see this dual. We had two big strikes here on Amazon this morning that expire Friday. We opened on the second strike. So right out of the gate this morning, I was shorting Amazon as well into a major resistance. Amazon's into a major resistance here. And I did manage to negate my losses on Microsoft this morning by this one here fading that second tier resistance. So I found out a lot of times if you got two tiers of resistance, um, trying to fade the second tier, it generally is a safe is a much wiser bet to prevent markets from breaking out, especially if there's not any direct news related to that, and there wasn't no direct news related to that. Yesterday, Google was breaking out above the 200, and it gave us a positive gamma, which failed. We're currently trading back below that 200. So 200 is a major positive gamma, potential positive gamma, because that's a major call wall. And so far, Google is continuing to act weak against that 200. So, and if you go look at your market internals, I'm telling you guys, things were not very. Uh, Basically, we're getting everything in just a few names to driving this market higher, and the breadth itself is not supporting this move. So one final chart here. So our cumulative tick here at yesterday actually turned negative here, turned bearish here on our cumulative tick. Okay, so be very mindful of that. Our cumulative ticks are not supporting, so it's suggesting breadth is not supporting the markets, and that actually goes hand in hand with the Russell weakness. So be mindful of that in today's session. We're still trading above VWAP here on the ESs. Heads up on that. So everything looking hunky dory there. But look at the internals here on our breadth indicators. UVOL, DVOL, advanced decline. They're all in the negative today, while just a few names have lifted the markets in today's session. So coming in tomorrow, main thing I'll be wanting to watch is the Russell and see if these breadth indicators all flip to the positive tomorrow's session. We have hit a major target in the ESs. So I do not want to understate just how important this target is on the ESs. So if there's ever a chance for a lower high, today would be putting that lower high scenario in. After this, we start breaking any higher from this point forward, we're going to all-time highs, possible double top, and then after that, new all-time highs. So that's pretty much the way it is here. This is our last real chance for a lower high in the markets as of today, going into the rest of the week. Thanks a lot for listening. This is going to be my overnight video, and I appreciate everybody watching my videos and stuff. Okay. Oh, one more thing here. Okay, guys, this represents some of the outsized trades hitting the market so far. Here it is, 1:23 p.m. Typically, this will all change on the 4 o'clock print because these are institutional trades. So what the institutions do, say like they got a big buy order, they got a big sell order, they'll just drift those orders into the markets, and then whatever's left over right at 4 o'clock, they dump it, and they make those big trades right at the close. Okay, these institutional trades, and I wanted to point out Oracle, which I talked about in I think it's my Saturday or weekend video, Saturday whatever, that I noticed Friday there was a big institutional order on the close, big, and guess what happened today? Somebody knew what was going on. But I didn't. I started my video talking about Oracle on that video, so it was there. We were given that tell, and guess what happened? Okay, guys. So I'm expecting this to dramatically change at 4 o'clock. This lift right here, but I was going to look at the XLF and possibly Nvidia and Apple. Okay, Apple has a double bottom at 220. 220 is a major potential support. So be very mindful of that. So basically, after today, we might have a solid tradable low on Apple. So be very mindful of that going forward. Okay, guys. Well, let me do these real quick. So my main takeaway: we had two institutional trades down here. XLF is trading above those two institutional trades. Yeah, a little bit more supportive of my thesis. We might see rotation tomorrow. And so I do want to point out here the strongest trades that oh, wait a minute here. This thing's not sorted right. So our final trades today, I do want to point out here, guys. Um, you know, XLF predominantly they were these big prints, they were hitting on the bid and not the ask. So a little bit bearishness in that. The TLT, they were hitting on the bid. So it was more bearish on the bonds. That was a big trade on that. NVIDIA here happened on the opening print as we broke down this morning. So it could have been very well by the bank wanted to buy right below um, it was really a poor spot to be buying the dip. So, where the location was, you would think the institution would have been more likely to have been uh, uh, selling on the bid instead of buying. But it was a very mixed candle the first opening minute there. But obviously we resolved higher since that opening print. Okay, but one of the biggest prints of the day on the video was that opening print, the opening 1 minute. And like I said, we resolved higher from that, suggesting they were actually buying right below support right out of the gate. You don't typically see that, but obviously that must be what they did. Okay, so that's just a quick rundown what I'm looking at here. Uh, Another really strong trade was 930 on Apple, and we check that out real quick. And that was clearly an institutional buy. Clearly an institutional buy on Apple from the open. So be very mindful. The institutions are defending 220. Also, there was an institutional buy here at the open, right here. 221.92. We're currently trading above that here on. We're trading way up here. Okay, guys. So we are trading. I mean, basically knowing where these institutional buys are, I chart those out. I put a line on my charts and carry that forward. Any of them that are in the top 100 percentile going forward. So it just helps me out. Keeps me on the knowing which side the institutions are coming in and what price point. Those tend to be critical support and resistance areas. So be very mindful of that. Okay. Thanks a lot. And gonna be 9662C on Twitter. If you get a chance, retweet me and like my video. And any comments below, I appreciate it if you're seeing stuff that I'm not seeing. But we are at a major uh, uh, resistance point. So be very mindful of that.